Hey, Shalom. Welcome back to Yahweh's Learning Channel. I'm still going through my journey of Psalms 119. I'm getting near the end of the chapter, and it's been really good reading over Psalms 119 and seeing how much the psalmist loved Yahweh and loved his word and wanted to keep his word, wanted to be obedient to his word. And this week I wanted to focus on two particular scriptures in my reading this past week. It would be Psalm 119, verses 124 and 125. Psalm 119, verse 124. Deal with thy servant according unto thy mercy, and teach me thy statutes. I am thy servant. Give me understanding, that I may know thy testimonies. And as I've been reading through Psalm 119, I notice that the psalmist often says that he is his servant. He is Yahweh's servant. In fact, the chapter ends with the psalmist stating that he is Yahweh's servant, which is verse 176. I've gone astray like a lost sheep. Seek thy servant, for I do not forget thy commandments. So I was curious as I was reading Psalm 119 how many times the word servant came up. I found out it came up 13 times in the chapter of Psalms 119. And I got to thinking about what it is to be a servant and what it is specifically to be about what it is to be Yahweh's servant. And one of the greatest characteristics of being Yahweh's servant is humility. It's not the only characteristic, but it's one of the greatest. When you think of a servant, you think how they serve and how humble they are. And as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about two of the greatest servants that there is, Moses and, of course, YHWH, which is the greatest of all servants. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 5, Yahweh himself said that Moses was his servant. I'm going to read that scripture. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 5. So Moses, the servant of Yahweh, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Yahweh. And if you look in Numbers chapter 12, verse 3, it says, Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. That word meek there, it actually means humble. That Moses, being a servant, being Yahweh's servant, was the most humble man that was living on the earth at that time. And Yahweh HaMashiach, he is the greatest servant of all. He gave his life as a ransom for many. Let's go to Matthew chapter 20, verse 28. And even Yahweh HaMashiach says that he came not to serve, to be served, but to serve. Matthew chapter 20, verse 28. Even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. And I love this Philippians chapter 2. I love this section, giving us a clear picture of how much Yahweh HaMashiach is the greatest servant of all. Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 through 9. If there be therefore any consolation in Mashiach, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Mashiach Yahweh, who, being the form of Elohim, thought it not robbery to be equal with Elohim, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found in the fashion as a man, he humbled himself, and became obedient unto death, even the death of the stake. So we see how Yahweh HaMashiach, he's the greatest servant of all. He gave his life to save all humanity. And He did nothing for himself. Everything he did was to glorify the Father. And it got me to thinking how we also are Yahweh's servants. And we are to serve Yahweh, and we are to serve one another. Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. It says, "For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another." I love that last part of the scripture. By love, we are to serve one another. Everything that we do, should be in service to Yahweh and in service to others with a humble mind, with humility of mind, humility of spirit. Let's go to Luke chapter 22, verses 24 through 27. Luke 22, verses 24 through 27. "There was also a strife among the disciples, which of them should be counted the greatest. And YHWH said unto them, The kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But ye shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief, as he that doth serve. For whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is it not he that sitteth at meat? But I am among you as he that serveth." So if we want to be like Yahweh HaMashiach, he was our example in all things. He kept the Father's Torah perfectly, and he didn't walk around prideful or anything. In fact, anything, Yahweh HaMashiach had a humble heart and had a humble spirit, and we are to be like him. We are to walk as he walked. 1 Peter chapter 5. Verse 5. It says, "Likewise ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject to one another, and be clothed with humility. For Elohim resisteth the proud, and giveth grace unto the humble." It says that we are to put on like our clothing, like we get up each and every morning and we put our clothing on. It says in the scripture we are to be clothed with humility, with a humble heart, with a humble spirit, looking to serve Yahweh somehow in our day, and looking to be a servant and show kindness to someone else throughout our day. Do I always do this? No, we're all striving. We all are looking to be like Yahweh HaMashiach. We all have our flaws. We all have our imperfections, but we're striving. We're in the process of sanctification. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. I love this verse. I had already read it earlier, but I want to read it again. "Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory." In other words, nothing should be done to lift ourselves up, to boast about our flesh or our abilities or our talents. "But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves." So we need to think of other people even as more important and more significant than ourselves. We should be happy with other people's successes and what they do. We need to rejoice with those that rejoice and weep with those that weep, to have humble mind, to be a servant. And I want to close out this teaching with Matthew chapter 25, verse 21. Okay, I believe everyone that's watching this is their desire. Matthew 25, verse 21. "And his Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of your master, of your Adonai." So we see even at the end of our lives that Yahweh himself is going to call us servants. It's not going to matter our position in life. It's not going to matter our jobs. It's just not going to matter when everything is said and everything is done. We all want to hear those words. "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." enter into the joy of your master. I hope this study, this teaching, this word of encouragement has blessed you. If you like it, please subscribe to our channel. Please give it a thumbs up. And Yahweh bless everyone. Love you all.